Right, we're ready to go. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's kind of quiet. Are there people here?
Good evening.
Oh, there are people. Perfect.
Hello.
Hi.
Happy
Wednesday.
Here I thought I was
утро.
alone.
Hey,
Luca.
Hey, everybody.
No one's alone in Catalyst.
Ah, you're right.
You're always in the right place in Catalyst. I think I heard that.
This is home.
Welcome home. Yes, absolutely. All right. Well, good morning to your homes. Good days. Good afternoons. Good evening, wherever in the world you are, as always. So make yourselves comfortable. You have the front row seat, and we are about to kick off another town hall. So it's been an exciting week, loads of happening, and you've certainly come to the right place to get up to the speed. So excited to have you here. As always, if you are watching this town hall on YouTube right now, live, I encourage you to look for the Zoom invite link just underneath the video feed itself in the description box so that you can come join us here directly. Why? Well, YouTube is literally just the front page. You may see here a couple of people, but there's additional pages. And if you want to meet them, just come inside the Zoom. And especially there'll be lots of exciting breakout rooms at the end where you get the chance to connect with fellow Cardano travelers. So without further ado, we're going to try to kick things off. And as we do that, I would like to share the screen. Let's hit the present. And Lead, are you here with us? Would you be able to bring us home?
Sure. So, guys, I've been asked to do the welcomes today. So welcome to the experiment. Things may break. There's a lack of documentation. It will differ greatly between iterations. It will be disorienting, overload, and inspiration. And our goal is to provide a safe and lively environment for you all to explore the highest potential of human collaboration.
Ooh, do we agree with that? Do I have some thumbs up? Is everybody still in tune with the message? Give some emoji, throw it in the chat. Let's see if this still speaks to you. I hope it does, because it certainly does to me. Thank you now for kicking us off. And but before we jump into the weeds of today's town hall, let's pause us here for just a moment and let's talk about what is going to happen in about 15, 16 hours from now. So there always may be people who have been thinking about proposing, but have not found, the courage or time to do so yet. And maybe you are, not sure that this is the right idea. Perhaps you're hesitant because you haven't figured it out, like all the details. And, I'm here to tell you that's okay. That's perfectly fine, especially for this stage of the process. And, this is one of those opportunities for you to take the leap of faith and just do it. I know this may be hard, especially considering what the traditional routes are often about when you're applying for grants or similar funding ventures. But the purpose of this whole catalyst process is to help you grow, and to grow with the help of the very community that is ready to back you and your efforts, if you are also ready to put in the work. It's not for free entirely, because Catalyst is a continuous system. It's like a giant incubator that helps you to learn new skills, make new connections by diving into that community, and in doing so, a way for you to get the feedback, to actually work and refine on your ideas based on this feedback, and to get a chance to polish it into the final form. But the final form is not the goal for today and not the goal for tomorrow, when the deadline to submit your draft proposals comes in. So you will have 2 weeks of interactions with the community to actually do that, to refine and to readjust. So the best thing you can do is to make that leap of faith and just to take the first step. We love when you bring ideas, and we celebrate when you are open to change. willing to evolve with us and also like to adapt based on the input that you will receive. So as we always do, if you are sitting on the fence, I invite you to stop watching this video entirely, stop listening to me, and hop off this town hall. Off you go to scribble down the basic outline of the idea of the solution to a problem that you've been thinking about all this time, but never really felt it was the right time, But, here is the reality check. There will never be a perfect time to act on the things that you've been putting aside. So these are often just excuses. And now is actually as good of a time as any. And I invite you to take that first step, the step that we cannot do on your behalf. You have to do that. But I can assure you that once you do that, the community will be waiting for you on the other side. So keep that in mind. And that's to keep that in mind. So you have until tomorrow to submit your draft proposals, 11 a.m. UTC. So I invite you to do just that. And great. Now let's shift the gears for a bit. We have 3 wonderful presentations today from the funding proposals. And I think Kriss will help us introduce each and maybe ask a question or 2 following to our guests. So Kriss, let's do it.
Thanks, Danny. So really pleased to welcome the Great Filter to the stage and Lead Time Null, who's going to talk a bit more about their project that they're closing out. Lead Time, why don't you take it from here?
Thank you very much, Chris. Hi, guys. I'm Lead Time Null, your favorite coffee cup here representing the Great Filter. So let's start by giving a little introduction to who we are. Slide. So the core team consists of Eva Ginger, the SPO of Ginger Pool, who is conducting research on CNFTs at Oxford. We got Bullish Dumpling, the SPO of Fika, who's driving Chinese adoption for Cardano, publishing the project investigative reporting. And yours truly, Lead Time Null, SPO of Nanipol, the lead author of The Great Filter, co-host of Cardano 720, known to be twice as good as Cardano 360. No shame. Next slide, please. So The Great Filter, our mission. Slide, Daniel. Thank you. So let's start with our mission. What is it that we're doing? Because it's been quite a while since we got our funding for this, put the plan into work. So our mission is to empower decision-making abilities of the community by filtering proposals using a transparent set of objective filter criteria. So what does this mean? There's a lot of $5 words in here. So essentially, we went to this from the user, from the voter mindset and the problems we were experiencing, but we saw that there's so many ideas out here, so many proposals, many great sounding ideas, a lot of, quite frankly, horribly executed in terms of the proposal writing and put out. There's so many information that we need to be able to determine if this is good or not. Next slide. So the great question here is, what is it that we're considering to be a worthwhile proposal? Well, that is a proposal that contains all the relevant information that is needed for the individual voter to be able to make a fully informed judgment on the quality and feasibility of this proposal. So we sat down and designed the following filter criteria that I've been asked to go through here with you today for the people who are submitting for Fund 7 or already have, because you can still reiterate and say your proposals. We'll be letting you know what are the things that we will be looking for as far as the Great Filter is concerned in proposals. Next slide, please. So roughly speaking, there are these 8 filter criteria that we expect to be present and fulfill in any given proposal. If you're missing any one of them, then you're simply not there yet and not mature. And so we'll give you a chance to reiterate for another round of funding, but you're not going to be taken forward by the Great Filter and broadcast for the voters. We're only going to be broadcasting the proposals that contain all information that's required. So let's dive a little bit into what those different things are. Slide. So the first 2 ones are kind of a freebie, making sure that there is an actual problem statement and a goal that's defined there. And it's kind of a freebie because the idea scale kind of requires you to actually write in the problem statement and your description of a solution to this problem. So roughly speaking, what is the proposal going to try to be solving, and what is the proposal wishing to achieve. Those two are the easy ones. Next slide. Now we get into a little bit more hairy country in terms of how many proposals are fulfilling this. So target demographic. Who are the intended beneficiaries of your proposal? We need to see that you actually know who you're making this for specifically, and don't leave that in between the lines. Next slide. Sorry, I'm keeping this a bit quickly through because we're very time limited on this. You need an action plan and you need a roadmap. Roughly speaking, you need to describe what actionable task you're going to be doing, in what order, how you're going to progress towards your goal. That's your action plan. The roadmap is how long your development is going to last. When are you expecting to deliver what? Give us some sort of calendar. Is this thing going to take a month? Is it going to take 2 years? And what's going to happen along the road on that? Next slide. We need some, I think you skipped one too long. Sorry, one back. So that's a lot of going back and forth. So 2 back. We need to be on KPI. There we go. KPI. How do you measure how well your plan is on track? So the operative word for having performance metrics in place here is quantifiable. It doesn't matter if you put in something that can be measured as in, we'll succeed on doing this or not. Put some things in that can actually be measured, quantified, to track whether or not you're progressing towards the goal that you've set for yourself. That's something that needs to be there. Next slide. Skills required. From my experience so far going through all the rounds of funding, this is the one that I have never seen a proposal other than our own really account for. We want to see you showing us that you understand what skills are required to get this done. This is separate from what do you know? Because if you can show me, if you can show the voter that you know what needs to get done, then you can hire for help. You can learn it yourself. But if you don't show me that you actually know that, oh, if you're doing investment vehicles, you probably need to speak with a lawyer, then I have no reason to trust that you're going to be able to know that. And then I'll think that's a bad plan. So you need to show what skills are required to actually do this. Next slide. And finally, budget breakdown, fairly simple, straightforward. Like, what are you going to be spending the money on? Don't just give the number. Try to give some insight into, is it all compensation? Does something go to equipment? Are you buying candy? Doesn't really matter what, but we just need to see that breakdown. Next slide. So important thing to really emphasize here is that the grade filter does not judge you on the quality of any of these things. It only judges you on the presence of the information. Budget breakdown as an example, if you're saying that I want $10,000 and I'm going to spend $8,000 of it buying candy and going to amusement parks and $2,000 on actual relevant stuff, as far as the grade filter is concerned, that's an A+. We just care about you providing the information. It is up to the voter to determine the quality of it. If you do not give the information, you're asking the voter to make an ill-informed decision on something you're not clarifying. We only care about the presence. So next slide. Since we've been rushing through this all, quick run through what the 8 values are again. You need to have your problem statement and your goal in place. This is almost impossible not to get right. You need to tell us who's this for, who's your target demographic, action plan and roadmap. You need quantifiable KPI. How exactly are you measuring if you're successfully progressing? You need to account for the skills required, not what you know, but what is needed for this plan, and some budget breakdown. And final slide. If you have any questions at all, we got a Catalyst Discord channel set up where you can always come, you can ask for help. Guidance, if anything is unclear, you can find the links there for the GitHub repositories that contains the definitions of the filter, criteria, definitions, because we want to help as many of you to pass as possible, but ultimately it's up to you how you're gonna write your proposals. Did I make time all right?
That was great, Lee. That was really, really cool. So just a couple of quick questions then. What was some of the, can you speak of any sort of key insights from the project, when you've actually looked at the data, anything that sort of flagged up in particular? And I guess, by extension of that question, what is like the one or two key areas that seem to be most lacking that you've sort of seen in your investigations?
That's a good question. So the number one thing that never seems to be present, and I can't really blame the proposers because idea scale doesn't tell them to add these things in. This is purely the great filter's harsh judgment, is skills required. I've never seen a single proposal that actually really accounts for that. Yeah, it would be a real shame to see like a lot of proposals failing out on that one. Most proposals seem to be fairly good at getting a target demographic as far as like checking the box. So the great filter would be fine with that. Personally, I see a lot of target demographics that are things like Africa. So what, 1.2 billion people, or people on Cardano. It's like, okay, how many million people? So from my individual personal, like, would I, as a voter, think like that's a good target demographic? No, that's horrible. The great filter is fine with it though. So if you just care about passing that, then that'd be fine. No, but the skills required, that's definitely the one that I like missing the most on when I'm going through like Fund 6, Fund 5 data for testing.
And that skills required really does help the community advisors or voters even to get a bit of a sense as to, how likely the team are to be able to succeed with what they're setting out, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Like as a voter, if I want to decide whether or not you should be getting my money here from the community I'm a part of, I care about if it's a great idea, sure, but this also needs to be like executable. Do I believe that you can actually make this thing happen? And if you're not showing me that you know what it takes to make this thing happen, then that's a crucial piece of information that I have to now just guess, that you could have told me very easily, this is what I know is required. And then if you do that early on, then you open yourself up for the community to help you, because there might be something you haven't thought of. And then I'm sure somebody is going to give you a comment saying, hey, if you're making security-esque index investment vehicles on Cardano, you probably want to speak to a lawyer as well. I can see you haven't talked anything about like legal work. So like, we believe if all of these 8 criteria are fulfilled, if that information is present, then it maximizes the relevant information for the voters, both for when they need to vote, but also for them to engage with you and for subject matter experts amongst the voters to help you and tell you, hey, I think this is really great, but there's one thing, maybe you should add this, remove that, change this.
Yeah, very cool. Well, thank you, Lead Time. Maybe I can just sort of highlight that this is a community project. You were funded by Catalyst to develop the Great Filter. So it's not the official process that we follow within Catalyst, but it's certainly a helpful community tool. Maybe I can invite you to dive into the chat once we finish the presentation, and you can answer some of the other questions in it, because there's a bunch of quite great questions that are emerging from the community, and then you can point people towards the project and then carry on answering any questions that come up. But thank you very much, Lead Time, and good luck with the next steps.
Cheers. And
now we have a video to play. This is NFTDAO with their wrap-up video from their current project and their update, should I say. And then we'll have another Q&A with Ashish.
Hello, my name is Cesar Ordonez from NFTDAO, and NFTDAO was formed by community efforts inspired by our Fund 3 comprehensive NFT framework collab proposal, which is wrapping up this month, and we're also using A2Pay in our Fund 3 solutions. We have also completed our Fund 4 NFT metadata standards and set them out for comments by the community, and are currently working on several more Fund 5 projects. Together, our team is building open source frameworks and decentralized applications for the Cardano blockchain and community, while providing education to university students. We're utilizing our Project Catalyst initiatives to mentor and guide future generations of blockchain innovators. We have a vision for providing scholarships and are partnering with the Center of Blockchain and Digital Innovation at the University of Wyoming.
The University of Wyoming is proud to participate with NFTDAO. We believe that NFTs are, truly a asset class for the future, and so many new ways of monetization are going to happen as a result of NFTs. Here at the University of Wyoming, it's very important for us as well to participate with our students and our faculty in experiential learning programs, which is really the best way to learn how to utilize these this new asset class. So we're working on projects such as, tokenization of environmental credits, tokenization of habitat protection, clean soil credits. With the new NCAA ruling on name, image, and likeness, we're working with our student athletes. And with our School of Arts and Humanities, we have content creators who can learn an awful lot about how this new industry will allow them to market their products in the future.
We are very grateful to be partnering with NFTDAO for our project NFQ. Our goal is to first create an infallible product authenticator based on the immutability of blockchain, then build upon the Boxcar framework to make a paradigm shift for the applications of NFTs as digital products. Look out for our Catalyst proposal on Fund 7.
We are currently building an NFT framework called Boxcar, where this framework will allow individuals of any technical level to build their own NFT marketplace on the Cardano blockchain. And this framework works similar to Shopify's plug-and-play web page builders. To accomplish this goal, we are building out necessary applications for the Boxcar first. This includes payment infrastructure to accept cryptocurrencies, blockchain domain hosting, and on-demand NFT minting infrastructure, and much more. We are an international community. Hear from some of our members.
Hello, my name is Sebastian Pereira. I'm part of the NFTDAO. I am originally from Bolivia, South America, and I believe blockchain technology is the way that the local economies are going to grow in the future. And that's one of the reasons I decided to get involved with Cardano. And that's how I found out about the NFTDAO. I do believe that their mission of allowing anyone to use NFTs, regardless of the background, nationality, or even technical ability, is going to be one of the foundations for the economy of the future, and how a lot of the nations in my region are going to be able to develop without having to borrow the technology from other places. So I'm happy to be part of the NFTDAO, and I think they're going to be an integral part of the future of Cardano and the economy in general.
Hi everyone, I am volunteering for the NFT DAO because primarily I believe that DAOs will become the #1 legal corporate structure that will be governing internet business, applications, level 3 business. I think that it's very important to have a complete and well thought out and well structured DAO, and I very strongly believe that Cardano will put together a great one for this NFT business. I also think that NFTs are the future invoicing, future way to conduct business. And I think that together, having a DAO governing an NFT marketplace, it will be absolutely the future.
NFTDAO's projects are currently funded through the Cardano Catalyst Initiative Fund, and we plan to sell NFTs to raise funds for scholarships and further develop the technology. But we wanted to thank you, the Cardano community, for your votes of support. So thank you from us here at NFTDAO, and we look forward to presenting to you again.
That is so cool. That's 2 of 3 presentations done and really inspiring. The breadth of ideas there in terms of where the world of NFTs is going. And in this instance, the NFT decentralized autonomous organization is just one potential avenue for NFTs for sure. So yeah, congratulations, the NFT DAO team, and long may your great work continue. And now I'd like to introduce Ashish to the stage. and he can talk about his project, Typhon. Ashish, you with us?
Yep. Thank you, Chris. Hello, everyone. I'm from Strika. We are the company behind Typhon Wallet and Cardano Scan Explorer. And today we are presenting Fund6 proposal. We are completing that and releasing out for the community. It's open source. Next slide, please. Proposal was a low-level implementation of BIP32 ED2 5519 implementation, which was available in Haskell and Rust languages so far. That is something that is used to create the wallet key pairs that is essential to generate addresses and sign the transactions. That's the lowest possible implementation of any wallet, which were only available in 2 languages. So our proposal was to build a JavaScript version of it so that the JavaScript developers can upgrade and build more libraries and applications on top of this, essentially to decentralize the low-level protocol implementations that are available for the Cardano community. Yep. Next slide, please. So how did we approach to build such a package? We wanted a library that is easier to integrate with our wallet ecosystem, that is fast to work with and has very user-friendly API interface. So we did a lot of research on the paper that was released by IOHK. We did research on BIP32, which was already a paper released by Bitcoin Standard. Then we started building the library. We did tons of research. We did a lot of integrations. We wrote test cases. And then at the end, we have derived to the final version of this package. Next slide, please. The package is already being used with Typhon Wallet, which is live, which was announced a few days ago, and is receiving a great response from the community. The last slide. It's now available as of now. The URL links are provided in this slide, which is available in the chat for everyone to take a look at. And yeah, thanks. Thanks a lot.
Thanks very much, Ashish. And yeah, just a couple of questions with you. I don't know whether you're able to come onto video so we can see you, and but if not, it's no big deal. But I guess, yeah, just as a starting point, through the project, has there been any sort of challenges that you weren't aware of along the way that you learned something from? What's been the biggest lesson learned to date, and about any challenges you might have experienced?
You mean toward building this library?
This library.
It's
yeah.
Okay. A lot of learnings, basically because this is essentially a very new protocol. If we talk in terms of just this particular library, which was researched by IOHK researchers and is only used in Cardano. There are other reference implementations that are actually quite different. So it was very difficult to build something out from ground zero level from scratch for Cardano.
Great. And then I guess, another question to ask is like, what have you managed to sort of crowdsource any support from the community, or receive any sort of insights from anybody within the IOG team? Tell us about, any collaborations or kudos that maybe you want to call out.
Yeah, there's so many people that are supporting the Dev ecosystem already. Ambassadors, Marcus, Felix, Priyank, Homer, so many people out there who are just always available for a chat, for a technical discussion. So it's a huge help and a platform to chat with everybody, get feedbacks, and get help that they can also helping us connect to people at IOHK. And
yeah, really appreciate that, Ashish, and yeah, good luck on your next steps, and congratulations on all your work. Thanks very much for joining us today.
Thank you.
All right, I'm going to hand back over to Danny, and yeah, thanks very much, everybody.
Cool. Let me share the screen again. And bam, check that out. We have already more than 600 drafts of ideas submitted as of this past afternoon across 25 different challenges that you're seeing here on the slide, which is each addressing its own unique take on how to solve the problems at hand. And this is really a beautiful sight. It tells me that there certainly is not a shortage of ideas in our community, but also, as we all know, IDEA is just the beginning, and I genuinely believe that from what has been built collectively here in Catalyst over the past year or so is ever pushing in the direction of actually surfacing the most promising and ready ideas for each fund. And after spending some time browsing idea scale challenges this afternoon, I expect nothing else from Fund7. So as we chatted, if you're still looking for that push to why to drop off this town hall and to go and submit an idea, perhaps this might motivate you as well. So please go ahead. What is the timeline like? Well, I've seen a few questions floating around in the community with regards to like how much time exactly will there be to actually edit your proposals? Well, starting tomorrow, we enter what we call a proposal refinement stage, where the community is strongly encouraged to dive into the depth of each challenge and then read through all of the ideas and provide feedback where you can, or any of the proposals on any proposals that actually would interest you. And then there will be another week right after, which is what we call a quiet week, where we all zip it, where the comments are disabled on idea scale, and it gives time to focus and integrate any feedback collected into your actual proposals. This means that the absolute last day to make edits on your proposals before they move on to the next stage of community advisor review is December 9th. And after this date, proposals will be locked and in this form move to the next stage. And I think I also read a question earlier today. Yes, starting tomorrow, you can edit all the fields in your proposals until that very date of December 9th. And after that mark, it will be no longer possible to actually adjust your proposals. So there's still plenty of time to go. And essentially, this covers us on immediate timelines. So just to recap, last moment to submit anything as a draft proposal is coming up in a couple of hours tomorrow on Thursday at 11 a.m. UTC so November 25th. So mind in which time zone and in which part of the world you are in. Well, the refinement stage. Well, what is it exactly about? Well, the whole point of this is to evolve proposals to better address the challenge they're in. And to be clear, there is actually a shared responsibility amongst all of us who actually have the capacity and time and willingness to make each other better. So this is not only about proposers working on their edits and engaging with comments that they find underneath their proposals alone. This is actually a mutual effort by everyone in the community, whichever role you actually may be in. You might be advisor, an SPO, a toolmaker, a mentor. Maybe you're just still lurking, you're on a challenge team, or maybe you're just a general voter. Well, make sure that we all come together and concentrate that effort collectively so that we can elevate the quality of all the amazing work that the fellow brave community members are doing as they've taken that leap of faith to embrace the Catalyst process. And, we always have this a small utility for all proposers, a checklist of sorts. This helps. So you've seen one of the options is working with the great filter that Lead Time introduced earlier. You will also find a very simple and very quick to access checklist in idea scale. And this is output of all the collective intelligence over the past year based on the community input. And some proposals are more successful than the others. And generally, there are some traits that we can identify, and we can find out what these proposals are sharing, the good ones. And in your submission form, you will have the ability to self-assess yourself. And this can help you track your progress in terms of what may be useful to submit, what you may be missing. Now, this is not a strict requirement, but it is a tool for you to definitely take advantage of because you're trying to identify gaps within the proposal as you may have it. And then there's different things that you will find in that checklist. So make sure you go and check them out as you will be submitting your proposals. Again, not a strict requirement, but if you do dive into these more deeply, it gives you a better understanding of your proposal, and also it is better to communicate with the potential voters who are trying to understand what is it that you're actually doing. There also is a challenge setting self-assessment, which is slightly a bit of a different challenge than what the other challenges are. Now, key here is to ensure that you're actually proposing a wide open-ended scope and not a particular solution per se. So even more so, we have a new addition that we've been chatting, and then James has introduced this during the challenge team presentations, is that you need to make sure that you are aligned with Fund 8 strategic goals as they are listed here on the bottom. So make sure you articulate this properly so that the community can then actually come in and prioritize effectively which challenges to select for the upcoming fund, because that really narrates the direction of the fund itself. And as you are reading it as a bystander and looking to give feedback on these proposals, ask these questions yourself as you're reading those proposals in a challenge setting category, and challenge those proposers to that if they're actually really addressing those Fund 8 strategic goals. So this is like a really good help for you to navigate. How else you can refine your proposals? Well, you can give each other feedback, and that way, get a fresh perspective on solutions that we're all trying to present collectively. So what I think, in my view, is often underrated, but could be a super secret power within Catalyst, is that of making connections, right? Meeting each other, talking to each other, because we've seen it time after time, every fund, due to the nature of the collaboration, many proposals actually end up merging their efforts, or they're supplementing each other's resource. And even new teams can be formed because, here's the kicker. You are not alone, and you are not only able to edit and work on your actual proposals themselves, but you can evolve your teams, right? So as much as we are focused on those things which are presented in idea scale, it also gives you an opportunity to reflect on that real life stuff, so your structures, your teams, because that structure, it will be actually seeking to implement the solutions that you're talking about. And it could be an asset that can elevate the existing propositions. So if you are browsing idea scale and feel like you have a gap that you can help address, or have some other opportunities how to help these teams by working together, reach out. Offer to join a team, because it is very much also a part of the process that sometimes is forgotten as we are so zoomed into editing those documents. We are here to work together. So for example, if you're strong, I don't know, in finance, but the proposer is more of a dev and is seeking support, well, reach out. You can offer that helping hand. And I would say you'll be quite surprised by the type of the actual outcomes that you can simply get by asking for help, or in return, requesting the help yourselves, because it literally costs you nothing. And I would dare to say that the potential upside could be amazing. So keep that in mind. Asking for help is really not a sign of weakness. It is actually the core, or one of the core reasons why we are here and what we are doing here. So asking for help is coming from a position of power, because we are identifying our limits and seeking those ideas on how to tackle them head on, instead of ignoring the problems, which in turn makes, proposed solutions even better. So when you are browsing idea scale, you can also make use of these simple tags, right? That will allow you to filter proposals. It will help you navigate, various needs and requests by those proposers. So if you are a proposer, make sure to actually leverage these in your proposals directly, because it's really an additional avenue for you how to signal these to the community. Because if you don't communicate that you have some gaps that you're trying to fill in, nobody will know about them. So make sure you use these tags. I think they're quite popular, and in a way how you can filter in the interface. So if you have a skill set that helps address any of these gaps, again, reach out to these teams and see what happens. You know, asking cannot really hurt. At least I think so. So another great resource would be to post your needs or offer your expertise on channels. And there is a specific Discord channel, which is called, as you can see, Collaborating and Hiring. So you will find the link here. You might just find someone there along the way. So if you do, just drop that link there directly, tell people what you're looking and try to make those new connections. And, you know, those are all these different ways that you can utilize the different options. And on top of it, you can, of course, you can comment on every proposal inside the idea scale, or you can actually do the another way. You can actually get in touch with them directly, right? So here's another way, super easy way how to get in touch with someone. So remember the saying, the great minds think alike. So if you are heading in the same direction as other teams, or you're seeing that people are working on something that you've always wanted to work on and have something to add of value, try to seek this out and try to collaborate. You know, Catalyst is not really a zero-sum game, you know, it's quite the opposite. So find these opportunities. You can either comment directly on their proposals, or you can send a private message, right? Like, as you can see the screenshot via the IdeaScale interface directly as such, and it is super quick to actually find it. So in case you didn't know about that, now you do, make sure you make good use of it. Now, quick word about the giving feedback. Few minutes of your time and attention can really make a really profound difference to the proposers that are actually seeking the help. So for example, if you are thinking in this particular sense, if you are a potential CA, a community advisor, this is actually one of the easiest ways how you can begin your journey. You can give people feedback when the proposal is actually evolving, and you can make a lot of impact before it actually moves to that the review stage. And it will help you learn if you want to see what the community advisor work could be about later on. And it's also a really great way to get familiar with what is happening and understanding of the inner works of everything inside the Catalyst. And you know what the CAs are usually looking for is 3 core criteria when looking at each of these proposals. And so what we as a community, we need to be always looking at is clarity. So looking to see if the proposal is understandable and if there are any gaps that need to be addressed in order to make it better. Then we often talk about impact, where we would be looking at the level of impact that this proposal has on the actual challenge brief. So like, in other words, is it aligned with the mission statement of each challenge? Does it actually address it at all? And if there are ways how to make that impact even greater. And then of course, there's the feasibility, which we ask, are there enough elements within the proposal that help us understand whether it can be successfully implemented? So does it have like all the attributes that essentially contribute to the factors such as budget, plan, experience, a lot of things that Lead Time also chatted about earlier, or the checklist that we talked about later. Those are like the tools that you can always work with. So you can dive into IdeaScale this week and try to see where you can offer that learning point on any of these elements to proposers. Because you know what you can also do is you can leverage the guidelines for the community advisors from the last fund, and you can see that on this link on the bottom, and it will help you also get a greater understanding of where we are, where we headed, and what we need to understand. And again, just a brief touch upon something that we always try to keep in mind. And it's ever so really important to remind ourselves about how we communicate with one another, and especially during this stage, because we will be doing lots of talking to each other, and we're going to be a lot of talking over the written media, and a lot of message can be lost. So make sure always to escape any need for negativity. And when you are conveying your reservations about proposals, keep in mind that this is a draft stage. This is the stage where the proposals are being worked on. So make sure that your comments are coming from a good place, I would say a constructive place, so that this feedback can be then easily understood and incorporated into proposals. Because really at this stage, there is no need in the community for snarky comments, trying to bait somebody into tripping, trying to place oneself, over one another, showing like, oh, I'm superior because I have a better knowledge in the way, and in general, in the way how we communicate to the point. So always remember there's a human being on the receiving end, and they have to come to this, and think about it, all these people have come to us to get better, and they made themselves actually vulnerable as a part of it. So respect that element, and let's make each other better as a whole instead of bringing each other down. So always keep in mind the way how you communicate and how that is perceived on the other side as well. So that's pretty key. But now, so I don't talk for too long, I would like to invite Victor from Catalyst School, who certainly is no stranger to the Catalyst, as he's agreed to highlight a few things that they've been working on and how you as a proposer or anyone really can leverage knowledge and insights from the program. So Victor, take it away.
Hi, hello Danny. Hi everyone. So as Danny mentioned, I'm going to give some updates regarding the Catalyst School. We had some proposals submitted in Fund 6. We were running already some workshops as a proof of concept. And now that we got funded, we are going to be able to expand our reach. We are going to have more workshops and more initiatives. If you can move to the next slide, Danny, please. As you can see, we got funded for our main proposal. We are going to provide all the workshops that we already provided and some more. Now we are going to have almost every day of the week a different workshop. We are also building a website. We are going to have some quizzes and some more materials. The idea is for it to be the central hub for all the educational content related to Catalyst. We are also now providing multi-language support in one-to-one sessions and also group sessions, and we are already providing them in 16 different languages, as you can see there. There's a link at the end. You can there's a form. You can just say what you want to learn and in which language. And also there are some formal languages that we are training the hosts to provide information in these languages as well. And we also got funded for our Eastern Hemisphere proposals. So we are also having these workshops, for example, introduction to Catalyst, how to propose, how to CA, and how to VCA in 3 different languages from the Eastern Hemisphere. And also we are currently onboarding 3 hosts from Africa. We are going to have Arabic, French, and the local African language, the most spoken one there. And we are currently developing also a Latin America Catalyst School that is going to be managed by local people from Latin America. And we are proposing this in Fund 7 now. And if you can move to the next slide, then please. This is our schedule for the next days until the end of next week. So we are going to have an introduction to Catalyst, proposing in Catalyst, and how to be a community advisor the following days, every day at 18 UTC. And next week, some more workshops about introduction to Catalyst, proposing, and how to be a CA. And later on, there is also going to be some workshops on how to be a VCA. And we are planning some more workshops related, for example, to challenge teams. And also we are preparing some insight sharing workshops for the next fund as well. And next slide, please, then. If you want to connect with us, there are some links here to our Discord, Telegram, YouTube, and email, and also the links to participate in our workshops, and also the request form for our one-on-one and group support sessions in many languages. That's it. Thank you.
That's amazing, Victor. Thank you very much. I think it's amazing to see how far this has gone from the initial idea. Now we're talking global. It's not just like talking in English. Now we see all those amazing languages. So I think it's one of those things that the Catalyst and the community still has a long way to go and learn and leverage. And those languages is definitely one of the ways how to open additional doors. So I appreciate everything you guys are doing at the Catalyst School. And thank you for sharing that with us today. So that looks amazing, but as always, so why stop there? I think this will be the 3rd iteration of IdeaFest that will be taking place during Fund7. And I would like to invite again a no stranger to the process, Felix from Swarm, to tell us all about this event and what, when, how, what to expect it. So Felix, stage is yours.
And happy Wednesday, everyone, and happy Fund7. And directly to close on what Victor is doing with the Catalyst group, because you join the ecosystem, and then you get educated and introduced. And then at the end of the funding round, you come to graduate and you come to present your proposal in IdeaFest. Short recap on the last IdeaFest, for example, we had in total 82 presentations from Fund7 and Fund6 proposers coming to the event, present their projects, their Fund6 projects to the community. We had more than 200 participants, some really nice key speakers as well. We had Mihaela Oliaru and Kriss, you know him, with some really nice input to the community as well. And as we move forward and we say, okay, we're evolving over iterations, IdeaFest Fund7 is coming now. Well, next slide, please. Very first, what is it about? General, it's an online open community event on Zoom to celebrate the future builders of Cardano. So to celebrate you, ladies and gentlemen. Everybody's welcome to join. Everybody's welcome to participate in several roles. Once for the proposer, for sure. It's a place for you to present your project to the community, as well what Danny mentioned before already, to meet and to connect with other proposers, because we have amazing relationships building out of those events. And in one funding round, they build relations, merge their projects, come together in the next fund as an even stronger team. Then for the voters, it's a place to meet the people behind the projects, because it's really nice to put faces to proposals, meet the people behind. And for the lurkers all out there, one of the most important roles in our ecosystem, it's a place for you to get inspired and to start your own project in the next funding round. There's a reason you're here. There's a reason why you're looking. And we are here to bring you on board. Next slide, please, Danny. We repeat a little bit the scheme from the previous IdeaFest already. So 15 UTC on December 18th, we will start. Nice opening introduction. Then at 15:13, we will go into the breakout rooms, as you know already from Swarm sessions and after town halls, where we have proposers coming to present their projects. Each proposer will have a 5-minute presentation slot, and directly after 5-minute Q&A with the audience. Then a nice coffee break or beer or whatever you want. And then we go into the second presentation phase, which means from 16:13, we'll open the second round of breakout rooms where the second wave comes. But as we have more and more proposers each funding round, and we don't want to push all into one day, the next day, so next slide, please, you're going to repeat the whole process. So we have a whole weekend of IdeaFest, and you are able to select which of the days fits the best to you. And next slide, please. Some specials again. All presentations, like usually, they will be uploaded on the IoT YouTube channel so that voters can go there, check all the presentations in the video catalog. I got muted, sorry. In the live chat, you can have a look already on proposals from Fund6 or Fund5. Those one are Fund5, I think. So all presentations will be uploaded on YouTube. In Fund6, we had more than 4,000 views on the video catalog, so people can see you, and this will for sure impact the, what do you say, likelihood to get voted and funded as well for your proposal. And then something special as well, all participants get some tasty NFTs for participating. Neither if you're a proposer, lurker, voter, or whatnot, come in and you get a tasty NFT for it already. And last slide, please. So save the date. It's on December 18 and 19, both days on 15 UTC. when you click on the sign up on the slides, you post your name, your email address that we can stay in contact with you. You put your IdeaScale proposal that you want to present, and there we go.
Ooh, Felix, thank you. I'm looking forward to it. If the previous IdeaFests are like a window into the future, I can't wait to see what this looks like. Every one of them was very exciting, and I can't wait to see. Now that we actually are going to fill the entire weekend, we just need to figure out who brings the drinks and pays for them. So, looking forward to that. Next up, we have an update from the Catalyst Circle. You know, the circle, which is our collective sensor array of representatives that are tackling a variety of issues. And to tell us what's the latest, we're going to hear from Allison. So floor is yours, Allison.
Thanks, Danny. So yes, I'm Allison Fromm. I'm one of the Catalyst Circle V2 representatives, as Danny just mentioned. We are serving as a human sensor array and an experiment in decentralized governance to listen to concerns and objections and roadblocks and problems from the communities we're representing and bring those to the circle for open and transparent discussion. And truly the focus is on transparency, and we'll have just a couple of words about that in a minute. 5 of us were elected by our segments of the community, and 2 were nominated by the entities they represent. And we are the second iteration of the Catalyst Circle. Catalyst Circle V1 just wrapped up their activities, and it's worth pointing out that both Felix and Victor were, the prior 2 speakers were members of Catalyst Circle V1. So very much engaged community members, and we Circle V2 members hope to humbly follow in your footsteps. So anyway, if we can turn to the next slide, I am representing the general ADA voters. And one of the objectives that I have in my role is to hear from general ADA voters. And so I was very happy with to learn that the Cardano AIM community had gotten funding in Fund 6 to do an incentivized voter survey. So it's really important to hear from voters to help us think about how to improve and develop the voting process. So this is an excellent opportunity for you to share your experiences voting, but also earn a small amount of ADA for taking the time to give us your feedback. And we hope to build on what we learn with this survey to do one that's even bigger, that reaches out to truly a global, statistically significant portion of the ADA holding potential voting community to really bring the process of decentralized governance to life and have as many people as possible in the Cardano community participating in the voting process. And we can do that by learning about what's on the voters' minds. So with that, I will turn it over to Stephen for the next slide.
Thank you, Alison. So you've been funded, you've gone through the Project Catalyst process. What happens now? One of the problems identified by Catalyst Circle version 1 was the lack of a collaborative layer for funded proposals, or proposers rather. So to begin to address this, I've set up a Git book, of course, which is what I'm famous for, and which has a quick start, frequently asked questions, which is now available at the link in that slide and also in chat there. Also, we want to begin in funded proposals a problem sensing exercise. So I really would welcome feedback on the funded cohort experience to that email address that's in the slide, and also to put together a draft proposal for a Catalyst Coordinator Hub. Again, I've pasted that in chat. Any comments and feedback on that proposal or any input is really welcome. Thank you.
All right, I'll hop in for the rest of the slides here. My name is Nori. I'm part of the CC admin team. And our first meeting is now up on the web, thanks to QADAO and all the people involved in transcribing and getting those videos processed. So you can watch the first Circle V2 meeting online. Check it out, notes are there. Next slide, please. And big announcement, the CC admin team now has a treasurer team. So last week we met with a bunch of treasurer candidates and they've decided to carry on the hardy tradition of not picking one person, but forming a team to support these functions. So we have Andre Diamond, Miroslav, Raj, and Chris Keller forming the treasurer team. And they're actively working on a proposal to help fund that team. So it's not longer a volunteer position, but in the meantime, we're going to be working out how to disperse funds, how to keep track of everything since the CC, the circle, and hopefully soon the admin team and the treasurer team will be funded communities, and we'll start to map out kind of a functional monetary flow and how we keep track of stuff. I'm sure that's going to be a challenge to a lot of different circles forming. So we hope to at least publish some playbooks and best practices around what we discover works for that. Next slide, please. And finally, here's a slide with all the links to the stuff. The next meeting is November 25th, tomorrow at 1500 UTC for the Catalyst Circle. We have a Trello board, maybe soon to become a GitHub board, where you can take a look at the individual circle problems and a number of Git books and some idea scale links to the proposals that have been funded and voted on. And then next week, we'll probably announce all the new stuff that the circle is going to be putting forward as proposals this week. I think that's it for these slides. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you all of the Catalyst Circle. I know they're fresh in their booths and ready to make a impact. So I'm sending lots of positive vibes and energy because sure as heck we all need it, especially in all of the things that we're trying to achieve. So again, I appreciate all the presentations that have taken place here today. I have just a few more slides to run through real quickly. As always, every fund, we run a challenge that helps spread the word and excite other community members who may be just on the sidelines to actually participate and give feedback. So over the course of the next week, generally what we're trying to do is to try to find the projects that are missing any form of feedback. So if that's the case, make sure you post your insights. The challenge itself is to find those that have no feedback or very low to date and help them out. So they can leverage the best elements of our collective intelligence. And you can share then this effort on our community Catalyst chat for others to be inspired. And I really appreciate everyone who is willing to partake. So this is more about just letting know your fellow community members that something like that is happening. Quick word. One of the things that we've changed for this funding round, if you're hearing this for the first time, is the fact that the voter registration is now ongoing. So it means it started and there's no plan to stop it. So once you will be actually able to register at any point in the future without having to actually worry about a start and end dates. So that's like another brick in the wall down, and it's just making sure that the experience is, again, one step closer to a frictionless one. As always, if you were registered in the previous funds and you were able to cast votes, you don't have to repeat the process. Everything else remains the same. What you do have to keep in mind from now on is always your snapshot date. So that means, the next one, which is coming, is January 6th next year at 11 a.m. UTC. Quick shout out. Some of you may have already noticed it, but we've been also working with community wallets. I wanted to extend a great thanks for all of those first two pioneer teams that were trying to integrate, and I think they have done a phenomenal job of doing so to date. So I'd like to extend a special shout out and thank you to Marcel and Ola from the CC Vault wallet team, and also from Ashish, who presented earlier today, and Pawan from Typhon wallet, who both of those teams were working and actually were the first ones to answer the call from the Catalyst team to enable a closer integration with the Catalyst process. What this essentially means is that all of the traditional routes of registering to vote, whether it's through the Daedalus, Yoroi, and Adelaide, are still active, but the things are a little bit shifting as well, and we're opening that option to other teams. If you are a wallet and you are interested in collaborating, we're always open the doors there, so reach out to us. One caveat is whatever you use, always make sure to verify validity and actual legitimacy of the wallets to make sure that you are safe. And just keep in mind that these are not endorsements, but I would love to highlight the effort on community side of the things, which is the development on the side of the wallets. So big shout out to these two teams. Just stark reminder every time, if you want to vote in any given round, just make sure your QR and PIN codes are saved. And that's it. The next town hall will be next week. The December's upon us. Wow, the year is coming to an end. We'll be here again at 6 p.m. UTC. And I think with that, I'm going to hand over to the After Town Hall team so they can tell us what things we can chat today and get excited about so that we can carry on and have fun. So Nori, is that you?
Yep, let me get this presentation going. Okay, so welcome to the After Town Hall put on by Catalyst Swarm, which is a group that's envisioning decentralized society. So first, to kick us off, Victor, do you want to talk about the Berlin event?
Yep, thanks, Nori. So as it was presented the last couple of weeks, there is an event going on in Berlin next weekend, which is called Envisioning Free Space. And the idea there is to talk about decentralized and distributed self-governance, disruptive technologies, NFTs, solidarity, community care, and many other topics. And some people from Catalyst are going there. Some projects are going to be represented there, such as Bridge Builders, Catalyst School, Swarm, Eastern Town Hall, and Gimbal Labs and Spokra. And if you can move to the next slide, please, Danny. I'm sorry, Nori. So we are going to have a 2-hour panel next Saturday to talk about blockchain, Cardano, and specifically about Project Catalyst. So we believe that this is going to be the first physical meetup specifically for Catalyst. So we are really happy about this. There are some people from that are going there that are already in Berlin, and some are going tomorrow. Me and Felix, we are going to meet for the first time tomorrow there, and the other folks as well, of course. And next slide, please, Nori. And we are also going to we are raising some funds to pay the artists that are going to be presenting there. So if you can please send some data to this wallet here, because we are going to give this directly to the artists that are going to be supporting this event. And yeah, thank you.
All right, thanks, Victor. That sounds like a really amazing event, and really wish I could be there. All right, for the community slides, I just want to talk about Eastern Hemisphere Town Hall. This happens December 4th at 9 a.m. UTC. Check them out if that time zone works for you. Next is a Playermint Town Hall, and this is a place for the Playermint team to provide updates on development as well as spotlight for other projects to present. And they happen every Sunday at 1700 UTC. We also have Gimbal Labs Playground, whose mission is to mobilize everyone to develop tools and applications through a unique experience of co-creation that facilitates adoption of Cardano protocol, reveals new possibilities, and ignites the public imagination worldwide. They will meet each Tuesday at 1600 UTC. And then welcome to the After Town Hall put on by Catalyst Swarm and the Catalyst community. If you want to host your own breakout room, these are open to the public. You can simply take your slot. There's a QR code you can scan or a link that you can click on. And then you can just take your slot and sign up for next week's After Town Hall. So the purpose of the After Town Hall is to connect with other Catalyst community members, to participate in meaningful conversations and collaborations with one another, and to catalyze new ideas, improve processes together. And then for today, our breakout rooms are really exciting. We have a mini proposal workshop with Thibaut. We have Restorative Environments for Innovation by Nick DeMuth. We have Gamers Unchained with Marcin. And then Open Source Dev Ecosystem Challenge by Patrick. We have Real 5 Projects with Caroline. We have Sala de Cafe with Juan. And just as a call out for that, in the Sala de Cafe today, they'll be talking a little bit about the Latin American Town Hall proposal that's coming up, or maybe even the Western Hemisphere Town Hall, if they want to think bigger. And then Crypto Regulation with Mari Schenk. And then finally, Full-Time Cardano with Philip. I know there's a lot of us starting to go full-time into Cardano. So stay tuned for Cardano Catalyst community events online. There's a link here, but I'll back it up so that everyone can see the different rooms. And I guess it's a point where we'll open up the breakout rooms. And if you need any help getting into any of the rooms that you want to join, please hang out, raise your hand, let us know, and we'll get you to where you want to go. Thanks, everybody. Enjoy your breakouts.
Thank you, Nori. So as always, sadly, this concludes the main town hall part, or excitingly, because we're not at the 2-hour mark, which is great. So if you are watching this live on YouTube, as always, please don't be shy to come down in person for these amazing breakout Zoom sessions. And you can find the link in the YouTube video description just below this window, and you will be with us just in a few moments. And for everyone who is out of time for today, once more, thank you. I appreciate you spending time with us, and we're going to look forward to having you here with us at the same time next week on Wednesday, December 1st at 6 p.m. UTC. Until then, have a great time. Goodbye, everyone.